Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video, and today I wanted to answer some questions, but more specifically I want to talk about the differences between the beta and the full game. If you're a veteran of the series, you are no doubt familiar with the differences between the beta version and the full game. However, for those of you that are new to the series, I've seen quite a few questions with regards to how certain things will play out in the full game, whether other aspects will be present in their current form, examples being things like the 20-minute quest timer, number of lives, the ability to explore more freely, etc. So, in an attempt to clarify any confusions you may have, here are 6 things you need to know about the full game after playing the Monster Hunter World beta. If you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below and let me know if you guys have any additional burning questions that perhaps weren't covered in this video. Now, kicking things off in at number 1, the quest timer. In the beta, you have 20 minutes to complete any of the 3 given quests, Great Jagras, Baroth, and Anjanath. Defeating the monsters will of course complete the quest, but within that 20-minute time limit, you can use your time how you please. Now, if you're familiar with the game and you are going after the target monster, then that's more than enough time. But if you're starting out, getting used to the controls, learning the map, understanding the systems, and pursuing a fleeing monster, understandably, you might feel a little rushed. Well, fear not. In the full game, your default quest timer is 50 minutes, that is 50. Whether it's a kill quest or a capture quest, your default timer is 50 minutes, which gives you more than enough time to do what you need to do. It is worth noting, based on previous entries in the series, there are occasionally special quests that have a 30-minute timer, examples typically being when you fight those giant monsters in bespoke arenas. I haven't had the opportunity to do the Zorda Magdaros fight, but I would be willing to bet that would fall into that bracket, a 30-minute quest. The reason for that is that those quests typically play out a little slower, since you're often following and attacking this huge monster that slowly moves through the stage, and quest completion can either come from defeating the monster or dealing enough damage to repel it. So in certain situations your timer is a little different, but for I'd say 95% of the game, 50 minutes is what you'll be working with. Moving on from there to number 2, how many lives will I have? In the beta, you have 9 lives, meaning you can cart 8 times, and if you cart a 9th time, or you die a 9th time, that is quest failed. It's very important to understand that this is a generous limit specifically for the beta. In the full game, you have 3 lives per quest, meaning you can cart twice, and if you cart a 3rd time, you will fail your quest. So by default, your quest will last 50 minutes and you'll have 3 lives. Those are shared across your team, assuming you're playing in multiplayer, so collectively, as a team, only 2 people can die, anything after that, and you'll be heading back home with your hands empty. Next up in at number 3, the freedom to explore. Quite a few of you have asked, following the beta, whether there will be a mode or a means to explore the map, free of any sort of time limit so you can learn the lay of the land, gather materials, hunt whatever you please, and the answer is yes. It's called Expedition Mode. In the beta, when you complete a quest, you are given the option to either stay in your team or search for a new party, again assuming that you're playing in multiplayer. However, in the full game, that menu is different. This is what you will normally see. You either have the option to return to the base camp within the map you are currently in, or you'll have the option to return to the town, Astera. Return to the town is the same as ending the quest. You go back, you stock up, craft some gear, do whatever you want to do, and you then go out again. Meanwhile, opting to return to the camp will instead leave you in the map you are in. You'll return to the closest base camp that you've discovered, and from there you'll notice in the top left hand corner of the screen, the icon that is usually a timer is now just a static icon. The icon typically indicates whether it's day or night. And now you're free to do what you please. You can return to the town at any time simply by selecting to end the expedition from the menu, but while you're on the map, you can gather, you can explore, discover additional base camps, encounter wild cats, other NPCs, and even fight the monsters that roam the map. There are also no lives or death limits in Expedition, so if you're struggling against a particular monster, this could actually be a good way to practice. You can still carve it once you defeat it. The only difference is that you won't get the post-quest reward since you're no longer on a quest. I'm actually going to be uploading a video later this week talking a little bit more in depth about Expedition Mode and some of the stuff you can get up to while you're on the map, as well as some of the things you need to know, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, the short answer is yes, there is a way to explore, free of any sort of timer or any quests. Just note that you'll be doing it within the map. You can't suddenly go from the forest and just walk naturally to the Wildspire Waste. It's not a fully open game, but within the map, you are free to do what you please. And on that topic, number 4, uncovering the map. In the beta, you were in a very fortunate position in that your map was completely uncovered for you. All zones were revealed and all base camps discovered. That is not how it works in the full game. The first time you visit a new location, as you explore the map, you reveal additional zones. You won't have all of the markings to indicate where the herbs, the plants, seeds or insects are. You won't have all the base camps or anything like that. It is down to you to explore and to uncover this. Obviously, once you've done it once, you won't need to do it again, but base camps are probably the biggest things to keep in mind. If you make good use of them in the beta to hop around the map, then when you first play, you won't have that freedom. So it will of course be of your interest to go and discover them, so you can then use them later as active fast travel points or quest start locations. But again, the same goes for useful items on the map. If you want to know where the gathering spots are, you're first going to have to go looking, so it will definitely pay to explore early on since it'll make your late game life much easier. Next up, number 5. What about those items you were using in the beta? If this genuinely was your first experience with Monster Hunter, then it's important to understand how a quest actually begins. You know how during the beta, you have that rather generously stocked inventory? Potions, mega potions, life powders to heal your team, demon powders to give you an attack boost, hard shell powders for added defense, shock traps, antidotes, etc. Yeah, you won't get that in the full game at all, or at least it won't be handed to you. An important part of preparing for a quest in Monster Hunter is making sure you have the right items. Sure, you'll have infinite whetstones to sharpen your weapon, pickaxes to mine, fishing rods to go fishing, bug nets to go and catch things, those are standard. Plus you'll eventually have your mantles too, but in terms of actual consumable items, the stuff that keeps you alive out there, that stuff you need to plan for. The blue box at camp, the one outside the tent, that is your supply box, and by default at the start of a quest, or at least a low rank quest, that'll be stocked up with a few handy items. Typically a stack of potions, some steak for your stamina, and at times a couple of extra things too. That is the only stuff that is given to you. Also remember that if you're playing online in a multiplayer setup, there will be 4 stacks of items. Remember that each stack is intended for each member of your party, so don't be that person that goes and takes everything for themselves. That is just not cool. But in the full game, you'll need to start thinking before you head out, what will I need? For example, I'm fighting a Rathian, a Rathalos, or a Puke. They can poison me, I better pack an antidote. I'm fighting a monster that I've never fought before, maybe I'll pack some hard shell powder so I can take a few more hits. Playing as a team, don't forget life powder. Bear in mind, some of those items can be purchased in town, meanwhile others will need to be crafted. But either way, you'll need to plan before you go out, because otherwise you'll get there and you'll be empty-handed. Then finally, number 6, what else is there to do? Sure, the demo had you hunt the same monsters over and over again, and in a game titled Monster Hunter, it is safe to assume you're going to be doing a lot of this. But it's also important to remember that in the beta, there's no progression, nothing to work towards, so if this truly is your first experience with the series, then you're missing an incredibly important component, which is the reason that we hunt. In the full game, your hunts will matter. The rewards you get from post-quest completion, the parts you carve from the monsters, those are taken back to town where you visit the smithy and you craft your badass armor and weapons. Not forgetting that not all quests will have you hunt to kill. Some will have you capture monsters, other times you'll gather stuff, collect stuff, and even pick up the occasional side quest while you're out and about, and of course you also have a cinematic campaign to play through too. So while the core of the game is hunting, what the beta doesn't do is show you why we do it. So rest assured, there is going to be plenty of stuff to do in the full game to keep you coming back. But for the time being, that's it for this video. Those were a few things you should know about the full game, having now played the beta. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, any questions, by all means drop them down below. But thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.